Hello everyone, my name is Jimmy and welcome to The Last Lap, where we give you guys everything you need to know about NASCAR. Whether you're a diehard fan of the sport or maybe you're just getting into it, we have everything you need to know. This week we're going to be at Talladega Superspeedway, one of the craziest races of the year. So we're going to give you guys all the action coming from that this weekend. If you are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It really does go a long way. We're trying to grow the channel, reach new people, and you can also check us out on Instagram and Twitter at The Last Lap News. On Instagram, we're actually almost at 100 followers, so if you guys could go check us out over there, that'd be greatly appreciated. And as always, I have my friend and co-host Matthew on the show, joining me from Liberty University, where I'm stuck at home in Virginia Beach. But how you doing today?
Doing good. It's been a long week, as you know, the semester's willing to end, like we said a couple times. But it feels like today's been one of those days that I finally can catch my breath, because I've been doing work non-stop every day. So it feels good to get a little break and ready to get nervous at Talladega this weekend.
Yeah, if you guys are in school, comment down below what your final day of school is. I think mine is May 8th or something like that. So if you're still in school, comment down below when your final day of school is, whether you're in college, high school, whatever. So without further ado, we're going to hop right into it. Before we do give our predictions for Talladega, we do have a little bit of news to cover first. The first thing, I'll go ahead and cover this first, is that Jennifer Jo Cobb, who usually races in the Truck Series for the most part, she was supposed to make a Cup debut this weekend at Talladega, but NASCAR was able to refuse that, and she will not be making her Cup debut this week. Personally, my quick opinion about it is, I mean, it's unfortunate that NASCAR just has the right to basically veto somebody's NASCAR debut, but at the same time, Jennifer Jo Cobb is a veteran in the Truck Series. She's racing there for quite a long time, but she hasn't had the stats to prove it. So I guess just by age, she's technically a veteran. But it's unfortunate that she isn't able to make her Cup debut this weekend. But at the same time, she's been a veteran. I'm going to say that again, in the Truck Series for a while. So that's all I really have to say about it. Matthew, you can briefly address it if you want, but you can also talk about your next topic, which is going to be about Brett Moffitt. So go ahead and tell me what your opinion on Jennifer Jo Cobb is really quick, and then you can address the other news.
Well, I mean, that's bad. That's too bad. I still don't understand why Derek Cope was able to get in a Daytona 500 when he didn't even last like 3 laps in the actual race. He almost took out everybody on the second duel. That doesn't make sense to me, but like, I know he's a champion at Daytona 500, but he's just as bad as her. But yeah, that's unfortunate, but hopefully she can do better in the Truck Series, and maybe she'll finally get that opportunity at another time. But let's move on to our next subject. Brett Moffitt, who drives full-time in the Xfinity Series and the Truck Series, the 45 Nice Motorsports truck, and then the Xfinity Series, he drives the 02 Our Motorsports Camaro. He just declared he's going to run for the championship in the Xfinity Series this year instead of the Truck Series. Originally, he was going to do it for the Truck Series, but now he has switched to Xfinity. My thoughts about it? Definitely a great idea. I feel like he should have stayed with Xfinity in the first place, because let's just be honest, Nice Motorsports is just a mediocre team in the Truck Series. Besides that 1 year with Ross Chastain, and that was only because they had that alliance with GMS Racing. But other than that, they've been mediocre besides that 1 year. But it's nice to see Brett Moffitt is going to be competing for the Xfinity Series Championship, and he's been really underrated so far. In the Homestead race this year, he was contending for he was in the lead at one point. He was one of the threats to win. But until he hit the wall at the end. But other than that, definitely good for Brett Moffitt.
Yeah, I would argue that he's running better in the Xfinity Series this year than the Truck Series. I don't know the specific stats and where he is in points and everything off the top of my head, but from the races I've watched, I think he's running better in the Xfinity Series than the Truck Series. Our Motorsports isn't like the best equipment either, so maybe it's just a tad bit better than Nice Motorsports. I'm not 100% sure, but it's good to see him running well in Xfinity, and that NASCAR was able to, I guess, approve that. I know way back in the day in the late 2000, like 2009-ish, when Cup drivers would run full-time in Xfinity and everything, that finally got outlawed and everything. But like, this is a completely different scenario, and I'm glad NASCAR was able to, I guess, approve that. I don't know what went into that decision and everything, but I'm glad Brett Moffitt was able to change from the truck to the Xfinity Series for points. So we have one more piece of news. I almost forgot. So on Wednesday there was another iRacing Pro Invitational race, and it was at Talladega. It was on Wednesday night. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch it because I was at a church event and everything on Wednesday, but Matthew was able to watch it, and there was a very special guest on the iRacing Pro Invitational Series. So, well, actually multiple special guests. So I'll let Matthew address that really quick and recap that event super quick for us. So go ahead.
Well, the couple surprises that were in the Pro Invitational was Kevin Harvick's son, Keelan Harvick. That was definitely surprising when we heard that announcement, but when I saw him, he did pretty good, actually. But he did get caught up in an early wreck, which made him go 2 laps down. That's basically how he was the rest of the race. But before that, he was doing pretty decent. He was even drafting with Dale Jr. there, which was pretty cool. Jesse Uji was also in the race, and it was the van vote winner. And he actually had a sim rig in where he was stationed at in the Navy. So I thought that was pretty cool. And later on, you can see like some of our armed forces in the Navy there, and that was just really cool. You know how that means a lot for NASCAR too. Like, NASCAR gives back to the armed forces and to the fallen soldiers. So I feel like that was pretty cool to see that. As for the race itself, nothing really much happened until like the last 15 laps, basically. Like, it was mostly just single file, and surprisingly, the 2 Wickler racing cars were 1-2, which is definitely something you don't see all the time, which is a rare sight, except for iRacing. But nothing really much happened. It was single file. Most of the time, it was just mostly Bowyer, Logano, and Jeff Gordon just dying laughing from each other's jokes. I thought that was really funny to listen to during that time. But yeah, there was a wreck. There was like a wreck like around 15 to go, something like that. And next thing you know, it was caution precautions, wreck after wreck. So it got a little intense there. But at the end, Brad Keselowski ended up winning it. And the funny part was, right after they crossed the finish line, Kyle Busch just turned Christopher Bell. That was funny. Knowing Kyle haters, they probably took that too seriously, knowing them. But I thought that was funny. But other than that, it was pretty fun iRacing event. Not really much happened though. That was the only disappointing part about it. Most of the race, it was just single file. But other than that, it was really fun to watch and listen to.
Yeah, I think the iRacing Pro Invitational races are it's more for fun, and like the commentary is what is really important, honestly. But if the racing isn't that good, the commentary is what sells it. So from what apparently you're saying, it sounds like it was a really good broadcast with Jeff Gordon and Clint Bowyer and Joey Logano and all of them. So at least the broadcast was entertaining, and yeah, if there's one caution at the end in any type of video game or even at Talladega in real life, it just breeds a bunch of cautions at the end. So yeah, Keelan Harvick, it was cool to hear that he made an appearance, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. obviously made an appearance again, and is it Iwuji?
Yeah, Jesse
I don't know how to
Uji.
pronounce his last name. Yeah, it was cool to see. Well, I didn't know this, but it was cool to learn that he even had a set when he was deployed. So I thought that was really cool. I didn't know that until you said that. So I thought that was super cool, and to be able to see the armed forces in the background, all of that is super cool to see. So yeah, NASCAR is definitely one of the more patriotic sports out there, which is really cool. And I'm glad that they were able to do that. That was really cool. So now we are going to hop into our picks. And since Matthew, you technically still got a point last time. So do you want your Xfinity pick or your Cup picks first? Which ones do you want to pick first from?
I'm taking my Cup picks first.
All right. So there's also an ARCA race this weekend too, but since we don't cover ARCA, but that'll be Saturday, and then the Xfinity race will be right after that, and then the Cup race will be on Sunday. So,
Well, we're assuming Ty Gibbs will win that
for
race.
that is very likely, yeah. Maybe we'll briefly talk about that on Monday, but so for my Xfinity pick, I feel like I'm gonna pick this guy and he's not gonna win. So I'm probably
That's everyone in this race.
I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick Noah Gragson. He's gonna be my pick for the Xfinity Series. He's had a rough start, and I think he's ready to turn it around. So he's gonna be my Xfinity pick. And who is your Xfinity pick gonna be?
I'm going to pick Justin Haley because he's always so good.
I knew you were gonna pick
Super
him.
Speedway.
I knew it.
Well, he and calling racing as a whole are like dominant on the restrictor plate tracks. Besides the race earlier this year, Daytona, they won almost like last year. They only lost one race in the restrictor plate races. That was again Daytona, the first race last year. So we could see a trend again, but I mean those calling cars at Daytona are just really fast. So I got Justin Haley.
Yeah, I was gonna pick him, but I feel like I don't know. For some reason, I just have a gut feeling that he's not gonna win, but he might, and his teammate AJ Allmendinger might as well. And Jeb Burton, is he still racing for college?
Yeah,
I think so. Right?
Jeb Burton.
Yeah. So any of the college cars could have a chance. Now we're gonna hop into our Cup picks, and Matthew, you got your 3 picks first.
This is one of the toughest of the year besides Bristol Dirt so far because it is a restrictor plate track or super speedway track, so it's tough because anything can happen and anybody can win, as we saw earlier this year with Michael McDowell. But my main pick, I'm going to go with Ryan Blaney just because it just seems like Penske car as a whole is always Penske team. The Penske as a whole is always good super speedways, and Ryan Blaney every year seems to be in a close finish at Talladega. So I got Ryan Blaney as my main pick. My threat is going to be Denny Hamlin, because he's always past few years he's been arguably the best restrictor plate driver. Why not keep? I don't feel like they use do they use restrictor plates still? I thought they took that out. I'm just gonna call them super speedway cars. Yeah, I'm just gonna say super speedway. Yeah, one of the best super speedway drivers out there. The past few years. So I got Denny Hamlin as my threat. And my sleeper, I'm going to choose a random driver just because anyone can win this race. What should my sleeper be? I think it's going to be Ricky. No, look, anybody can win, but not him. Heck, and him or any Rick Ware racing car, don't expect that. Anybody but them. They're not. We don't expect them up front. But my sleeper is going to be Ricky Stenhouse Jr. He's always been really aggressive at the restrictor plate races, and his only 2 wins are super speedway races. So Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is my sleeper. So my main pick is Blaney, my threat is Hamlin, and my sleeper is Stenhouse.
I'm surprised you only took one of the few picks I wrote down. Like you stole one of them, because I had Blaney as one of my picks, but I'm surprised none of my other picks got stolen for once. So those are all really good picks. I didn't even think about Stenhouse, honestly. But for me, my main pick, I'm going to pick Brad Keselowski. He's going to be my main pick because he's been very good at restrictor plates, specifically Talladega. And my threat pick is going to be his teammate, Joey Logano. So that's all 3 Penske cars taken already. But, I mean, Penske just, I don't know what it is, but they just dominate the restrictor plate tracks. And Denny Hamlin's good too. He's won a lot of restrictor plates as well. But, like, as a team, Team Penske just really excels at the restrictor plate tracks. So those are my first 2 picks. And then my sleeper pick, I'm gonna pick Chase Elliott just because he's my favorite driver. And anybody could win it. So
of course.
I mean, he won there in 2019. So I mean, honestly, any pick, there's no real sleeper pick because anybody could win this race. But Chase Elliott's gonna be my sleeper.
I should have saw that
so
coming.
For me, that's gonna be Brad. Hey, you pick Kyle Busch as one of your picks in the Daytona 500.
It's the Daytona 500, the Super Bowl of NASCAR. Of course I'm going to pick him. Especially since he hasn't won it. But this is just a regular restrictor
plate track.
Well, this is a regular super speedway race. And every time we're at Talladega, something always goes wrong for us ever since we won there in 2008. So I don't expect us to be anywhere near race winning contention. So that's why I didn't pick him.
Chase Elliott won there in 2019, so he has somewhat of a chance.
It's one win.
My 3 picks. Yeah, I know. But
just like how Kyle only has 1 win, and look what's happened ever since.
Michael McDowell could win again for all we know.
Yeah.
Or some other
it's unpredictable.
Lower in points, and that could.
I mean, you can't predict these races, so what matters? Who matters?
Yeah, and if somebody else wins that's like way out of the points in the playoffs, that'll really jack up the board because drivers like Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch, Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, several big name drivers have not won a race yet this year, so if another driver way below the cut line ends up winning this weekend, it could completely shake up the playoff board even more.
Oh, Lord. I don't even want to know I don't want to know what it's going to be like if, like, Ryan Preece, for example, wins it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But, yeah, Talladega this weekend is going to be crazy. Both of us are going to be holding our breath the whole time, biting our fingernails as we watch the race because anything can happen, and the big one is always bound to happen. So this weekend is going to be full of action at Talladega, and we'll come out with a video on Monday recapping all of the action. So make sure you guys stay on the lookout for that. But we will see you guys in the next episode.